Steve Jobs, visionary founder of Apple. Steve Jobs revolutionized the personal computer and buying and downloading music. Learn more about Jobs, Macintosh, and Apple. The year of the iPad second, the audience cheered as Steve Jobs took the stage at the Yerba Buena Center for the Arts in San Francisco, California. It was March 2nd, 2011. Many people in the audience were surprised to see him. Jobs had been battling pancreatic cancer for several years. He was on sick leave from his position as the Chief Executive Officer (CEO) of Apple Inc. He was founded the company in 1976. Now, Jobs looked frail but also excited. He stood on stage wearing his usual black shirt, jeans, and running shoes. He had come to launch Apple's newest product, the iPad Second. The iPad Second is a tablet. Tablets are flat, rectangular computers. People interact with them using large touch screens. The devices can run games, play music, browse the internet, and run all kinds of programs. Before talking about the iPad Second, Jobs updated the audience on his predecessor. The first iPad had been hugely success. More than 15 million were sold. Jobs called it the most successful consumer product in history. What's in a name? The computer company Jobs, founded in 1976, needed a name. Jobs was on an all-fruit diet at the time. He had just returned from an apple orchard near Portland, Oregon. He decided Apple would be a fun name for a computer company. Personal computers were a new technology. Some consumers felt they would be too complicated to use. Jobs thought connecting the word Apple with computer would make the machines feel friendlier. The iPad Second was released on March 11th, 9 days after Jobs' presentation. Jobs predicted the new device would be just as successful. He said 2011 would be remembered as the year of the iPad Second. And it turns out, Jobs didn't live to see the end of the year. He died of cancer on October 5th, 2011. He was 56 years old. A magical and revolutionary device. When it released the iPad in 2011, Apple called the tablet a magical and revolutionary device. Users interact with its large touchscreens using their fingers. A few years earlier, Apple had introduced the iPhone, its first popular touchscreen device. In many ways, the iPad is an enlarged iPhone. Software applications, known as apps, made the iPad a popular device. People have developed hundreds of thousands of apps for the iPad. They range from games to educational programs to social networking tools. Jobs the visionary. Jobs was among the greatest technology visionaries of the last century. He helped create the personal computer industry in 1980s. Decades later, he changed to the music, cell phone, and tablet industries. Under Jobs' leadership, Apple changed how people work, listen to music, watch movies, and use computers. Straight to the source. In 1983, Jobs gave a speech in Epsom, Colorado, about the future of computers. He spoke about the new developments he expected in the near future. In the speech, Jobs explained how he wanted Apple to be at the forefront of these changes. Back it up. In this part of the speech, Jobs outlined his vision for the future, compared Jobs' vision to the reality of the iPad Second, released more than 25 years later. Write a paragraph explaining why predictions were right and which were wrong. Use evidence from the speech and from the rest of Chapter 1. Growing up. Stephen Paul Jobs was born in San Francisco, California on February 24, 1955. He was adopted as an infant by a working-class couple named Paul and Clara Jobs. Paul was a high school dropout who had several jobs while Steve was growing up. Clara was a bookkeeper. They were loving parents to Steve and his younger sister, Patricia. Patricia was adopted when Steve was 2 years old. Steve spent part of his childhood in Mountain View, California. Mountain View is near San Francisco and San Jose, California. The region became home to many technology companies after the 1950s. It was an exciting place to live during Steve's childhood. Technology was growing by leaps and bounds, and it was happening right in his backyard. School years. Steve was a smart kid. After the fourth grade, he skipped a grade. Even so, Steve found school boring. He played pranks on his classmates to entertain himself. By the time he got to Homestead High School in Cupertino, California, math and science were his favorite subjects. He built radios in his garage. The summer between his freshman and sophomore years, Steve went to work at an electronics company. He added nuts and bolts to devices as they moved down an assembly line.